Things are not getting any better in Russia. In fact, if possible, they're getting even worse. Hello and welcome to Sweet Home California. And I really like to be as positive as I humanly can be on my channel. But sometimes you just got to know the facts for what they are. And I don't know that our press is really telling us everything that's going on here. And um, I am not a fan of Russia at all. I don't really understand exactly who's in the right and who's in the wrong between Ukraine and Russia. I do know that innocent people are getting killed. Um, I I pray for them all. I think that Putin is absolutely horrible, but I don't know that our own leaders don't have something to do with what's going on and that they are making things worse. I don't know. I'd love to know in the comments what your thoughts are on it. I ask that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Please also like the video if you appreciate that I am sharing this information with you, not necessarily that you like what the message is that I'm going to be sharing with you, because it's not a good thing. But by hitting the like button, it helps more people understand what's going on in our world today, and that our press isn't sharing with us. So anyhow, Putin gave an address, and it's in Russian with subtitles. I was able to find the latest address that he did from March 6th, that is talking about the military situation in the Ukraine and their fallen soldiers. It's in English subtitles. And I don't know about you, but I often will listen to YouTube while I'm doing other things. So I thought it would be value added to actually read out the English subtitles. So it will be my voice, but these are Putin's words. This is absolutely nothing at all how I feel of what's going on, but I do want to share that with you because I think it's important. Please comment below what your thoughts are. And if you have any additional information from trustworthy sources, I'd really appreciate it. All right, so let me go ahead and hit play, and I will read you the subtitles so you understand what it is that he is saying. Start from the beginning here. Dear comrades, on February 24th, a special military operation began in Ukraine, fulfilling the assigned task to protect our people in Donbass and to ensure the security of our homeland. Russian soldiers and officers act courageously, like real heroes. Our servicemen fight with a full understanding of the righteousness of their cause. Even after being wounded, soldiers and officers remain in the ranks, sacrificing their lives in order to save their comrades and civilians. In the course of battles, our servicemen and militiamen of Donbass have truly shown great heroism. I note the personnel of the 100th Motorized Rifle Brigade and the fighters operating in the Donetsk direction, under the command of Colonel Alexei Borisovich Bernard in the area of Vonkala, broke through the deeply fortified defense, excuse my horrible pronunciation, which the nationalists have been strengthening and equipping for 8 years. Tank platoon commander of the Guard, Lieutenant Viktor Ismov, destroyed 5 tanks during the battle. On February 25th, in the Chunka region area, the company commander of the 163rd Armored Regiment, Captain Alexei Lovkin, came upon nationalist units numbering 15 tanks and 6 infantry fighting vehicles. The nationalist units would be the Ukraine. He and his personnel attacking the enemy and destroyed all the infantry fighting vehicles and 5 tanks, completing the mission without losses. And again, the enemy is the Ukraine. I have signed an executive order on awarding Lieutenant Mehmed, there's no way I'm pronouncing that, the title of Hero of Russia, regrettably posthumously. During a battle, he confidently led his soldiers, taking care of his subordinates, as a good commander should. Even when he was seriously wounded, he continued fighting to his last breath, blowing up himself along with the militants who surrounded him with a grenade. He did that because he knew who he was dealing with: neo-Nazis who torture and brutally murder prisoners. This is the reason why I want to put this out, because this is how Putin is framing his war in Ukraine to his people. This is an address that is going out across state TV to the Russian citizens, and they don't have, especially now, they don't have access to Western media. I am a Russian. This is Putin saying. As they say, all my relatives, but sorry, let me get back to that. That went really quick. I am a Russian. As they say, all my relatives are Ivans and Marias. But when I see heroes like this young man, a resident of Dagestan and an ethnic Lak, and our other soldiers, I can hardly stop myself from saying, I am a Lak, I am a Dagestani, I am a Chechen, an English, a Russian, a Tartar, a Jew, a Moldovan, an Australian. It is impossible to name all the more than 300 nationalities and ethnic groups that live in Russia. I think you can understand me. I am proud to be part of this world, part of our powerful and strong multinational people of Russia. At the same time, I will never abandon my conviction that Russians and Ukrainians are one nation. And again, I want to emphasize here that this is going out to the Russians. This is him justifying his attack on Ukraine. Even though some people in Ukraine have been intimidated, many have been duped by nationalist Nazi propaganda. And some have consciously decided to become followers of Bandera and other Nazis who fought on Hitler's side during the Great Patriotic War. It is a fact that we are fighting neo-Nazis, which can be seen from the course of the hostilities. The nationalist and neo-Nazi units, and there are foreign mercenaries in them, including from the Middle East, are using peaceful civilians as a human shield. As I have said, there is objective data and photos of how they deploy military equipment in residential districts. Together, they are behaving like this, like outright criminals, and instead of honoring their promise to remove that equipment from residential neighborhoods, kindergartens, and hospitals, they are deploying more tanks, artillery guns, and mortar launchers there. This is Putin justifying evidence that has shown that he has been firing on residential areas and kindergartens and hospitals. I don't know the truth of whether the Ukraine are actually firing from there. On the contrary, they have also taken foreign nationals hostage, including thousands of young people, students who were receiving an education in Ukraine. For example, they held over 3,000 Indian citizens, most of them students, at the railway station in Kharkov for over a day. And they are still holding the majority of them, including 576 Sunni. The neo-Nazis opened fire on the Chinese students who wanted to leave Kharkov, wounding 2 of them. As I have said, hundreds of foreign nationals are trying to leave the combat zones, but they are being prevented from doing so. In fact, they are being held hostage. Just a second. In fact, they're being held hostage. The hostage takers are playing for time or offering them a chance to leave via Lvov or Poland, that is, to cross the combat zone, thereby risking their lives. Our service personnel have opened corridors in absolutely all conflict areas. They have offered transportation so peaceful civilians and foreign nationals can go to a safe place. I would like to point out again that the nationalists are preventing them from doing this. Moreover, they are telling foreign nationals to turn to their own authorities, which have to seek the assistance of the Ukraine Foreign Ministry. In fact, they are pushing these people into the line of fire. The nationalists are acting even worse towards their own citizens, their own people. As I said, they are using people as human shields. Our service personnel have reported instances where people in the residential buildings in the Donetsk and other towns are being forced to gather in the middle floors. The windows and walls in the lower floors are broken open to mount heavy weaponry, such as cannons and tanks and machine guns, and snipers are placed on the roof and on the upper floors. It is only fascists that did this. They were the ones that treated civilians so inhumanely when Soviet forces were fighting them, including as they were liberating Ukraine. I would like to repeat that our soldiers and officers are trying to prevent civilian casualties. And regrettably, they are sustaining losses while doing this. It is our duty to support the families of our dead and wounded comrades who fight for the security of our fatherland, our people, and the people of Russia. All family members of the servicemen who have perished during the special military operation will be issued a death gratuity and a one-time payment of over 7 million rubles. Monthly compensation will also be paid to each family member of the deceased. In addition, I consider it necessary to approve to each family of the Defense Ministry and the service members and other personnel of the other security agencies killed during the operation an additional payment of 5 million rubles. Any servicemen personnel wounded during the operation will be issued benefit payments as well. I am referring to insurance benefits and one-time payments for being wounded, injured, or receiving contract personnel found unfit for duty will be issued a one-time payment of almost 3 million rubles and a monthly payment in case of permanent disability. All these measures are provided for by law. At the same time, I believe that an additional payment should be stipulated for the Defense Ministry service personnel and service members and other personnel who are wounded during the operation of 3 million rubles. I would like to emphasize once again that our men and officers are fighting in Ukraine for Russia, for a peaceful life for the citizens of Donbass, and for the denazification and demilitarization of Ukraine so that no anti-Russia, just a moment, let me get back to that. It's talking very quickly. So that no anti-Russia, which the West has been creating for years right on our border, can threaten us, including with nuclear weapons, as has recently become the case. Our people are proud of their armed forces. We will never forget our comrades who have been killed in action. We will do everything necessary to support their families and children, to give them an education, to support their loved ones. Let us pay our respects to our soldiers who have died during this military duty, during the special military operation in Ukraine. And he stands now for a moment of silence. At no point has he mentioned how many men have died. All right, he continues. Please, he says. Dear comrades, I would like to say that the special military operation is proceeding on schedule and according to plan. All of the tasks are being fulfilled. The Minister of Defense should now proceed. This is what Russia is going to see. They're not going to see what's going on in the West. As I said, I don't know exactly what is going on, but I do know that Putin doesn't have his own peoples good at heart because he is crushing dissent in his own country. There have been millions of people who have been protesting, and he has been rounding up thousands of them and then throwing them in jail. Russia this is where I feel like our side, our governments are not doing what they should be doing. They are isolating the Russian people so much that there's no way that we're going to be able to get any information to them. We have pulled everything out to try and harm Putin, but we're harming the Russian people, and they're not going to see what's going on. We've totally isolated them with their money supply. We're taking out all the American businesses, and we are, threatening internet as well. Well, we've also stopped taking their oil. And now Russia has announced that they are going to be pulling out of the global internet as of March 11th. So in 2 days, they're just going to cut themselves completely off. And apparently this is something that they have been planning for several years. If you're familiar with China and their censorship, they basically have the Great Firewall of China where nothing gets in and out without the government knowing about it. And that's basically what Russia is setting up. So it's just going to be that much more difficult to inform the Russian citizens of what their government is up to. When we started when we got involved in World War II, for years, the United States was trying to be neutral. We were providing weapons and armaments for the Allies without sending in any troops. Well, that stopped when we were bombed by the Japanese in Pearl Harbor. And I know that there's all sorts of theories as to whether we allowed that to happen on purpose so that we had that excuse to get into the fight and to get the people behind um, Roosevelt in sending soldiers to the fronts. I don't know. But part of the reason why Japan felt that it was necessary is because of oil. Japan, on the other hand, unlike Russia, doesn't have any natural oil for themselves. They have to import just about everything that they use. And so what we did to punish Japan is we stopped giving oil to Japan. And then they felt that they had nothing, that it's basically a declaration of war, and they had no other choice but to bomb us at Pearl Harbor. And it didn't go well for them, but it didn't go well for us either. So now oil is at the heart of this with Russia. This time it's Russia has oil, and that's pretty much the only thing that they have to sell right now. And now America has said, nope, we're not going to buy it anymore. And so now Russia is using oil as a leverage in Europe, which still wants to buy Russian oil. It's still winter over there. There's still a number of countries that are relying on oil, which, Trump had tried to tell them, this is really stupid. Why are you accepting oil from Russia? You want us to protect you from Russia, but yet you are enriching Russia by taking their oil. And now they're seeing just how wise Trump was, because now Russia is threatening to take away the oil from their pipelines that are still going into Europe. Anyhow, I don't know what all the truth is. I don't know what the right course of action is. I am really glad that I am not a politician that is responsible for making any of these decisions, but I'm just trying to provide some information. And I thought that it was important for people to hear exactly what Putin is saying to his own citizens. And it doesn't sound like he's thinking about backing down anytime soon. He made it clear that he considers the Ukraine and the West Nazis. He's made it clear that he considers the Ukraine people, brothers with Russia. So I don't see this ending anytime soon. So please keep everyone that's involved in your prayers, because only God can sort this out. God bless, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.